right, so guys, we're here today for a special announcement. What is it?
Well, today we're announcing our new book, Marketing Lessons from the Grateful Dead. Comes out next week, and today, very excited. We kept it secret for long enough, and we're announcing it today.
Woo, very good. Congratulations. That's pretty exciting. So, I've got a whole bunch of questions for you guys, but first, I mean, how did this come about? I know you did a webinar a couple of months ago, but how did you, I mean, were you drinking a couple of beers and you were like, we need to do a Grateful Dead book? Like, what was the story?
Well, we've been talking about the dead for ages in our speeches, our books, and blog posts and whatnot. We did the webinar April Fool's Day of 2010 this year. And it got such great reception. We said, well, hey, let's go all the way.
Yep. I've been thinking about the topic for a long, long time. I'd sit there in the Grateful Dead shows, and I remember at one point I was reading that book, Blue Ocean Strategy. You know that book, Blue Ocean Strategy? Yes. And I was thinking, what a perfect example of a Blue Ocean strategy is the Grateful Dead. What a very unique market opportunity they've created, and what a unique marketing strategy. And kind of one thing led to another.
And here we are.
And here we are. I feel very short today. You didn't change your stool height, so you're really tall. It's all right. Just shrink down a little bit. It's all right. No, you're fine. You're going to go all the way down. Anyway, so now you guys, we've all known you're both dead hens. You haven't, hidden that from us. They're in every one of your books. You talk about it. Tell me, I want to hear from each of you, how did you find the Grateful Dead? What was your first experience? Were you like 14 and grungy? Like, I want to hear about it.
So I was probably around 14, and the guy across the street was playing it constantly from his bedroom window, and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." And then I went over and was like trying to listening to it. He was explaining, "Oh, it's this Grateful Dead. They're really great." So I saw the first show in 1979 when I was in high school, and whoa. Well, I don't think anyone in this room was born then. And yes, one person. And so that was my first. How about you, Brian?
What about you?
So I got first exposed to it in high school. I had a painting company on Cape Cod called Stroker Ace Painting Corporation.
Say that again?
Stroker Ace Painting Corporation.
Wow.
Interesting
what a
story.
Name.
My co-founder for that painting job is this guy, Eric Olson, huge deadhead. His brother was Lonnie Anderson's first husband.
Nice.
Okay?
And say this like we're all supposed to know who Lonnie Anderson is.
WKRP in Cincinnati. Nothing?
Oh, that explains it so much.
And Ryan, they weren't born in 1979.
Lonnie Anderson was getting married to Burt Reynolds when all this was going on, and Burt Reynolds had a movie called Stroker Ace, so we thought we're starting a painting company, Stroker Ace. Anyway, Eric and I started this company, and he was a huge Deadhead, sophomore in high school, really kind of into the Dead, and all day long we just listened to the Dead and rocked out. And then the Dead were coming on tour through the Northeast, and they were going to Saratoga, and he said, "Let's go." I said, "Sounds good." My first Dead show, I remember junior, senior in high school. And we didn't have a car, which was an issue at the time. So we painted a little sign on a piece of wood, because we were painters, Saratoga, and we hitchhiked from Brewster, Mass. On the Cape, all the way over to Saratoga, caught a couple shows, and then we hitchhiked back to the Cape and kept painting.
What year was this?
I don't remember. 84,
you just don't want to admit.
I don't remember. 84, 85, I can't remember.
Hitchhiking, that sounds like the 70s to me.
Definitely the 80s.
So my first show, it was supposed to be November of 1978, and I'm in this car, and we're having so much fun driving to the concerts, an hour away in New Haven, Connecticut. And getting stoked for the, what was that? Ace Stoke? What was that thing?
Stroker Ace.
Yes. Getting excited for the concert in many ways, and going out in the parking lot and having more fun in the parking lot, and then going to the arena, having more fun in the arena. And we're so psyched, and oh my gosh, the band's going to come out any moment. And then Bob Weir comes out and goes, "Hey, we're sorry to tell you this, but Jerry Garcia is really sick, so we're not going to come out tonight." And I'm like, oh, the whole audience. Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah,
so we went back like 3 months later, and we finally saw the show.
Got to see them. All right, I mean, we can keep reminiscing about all our great Dead times, but that's actually not what I should have said, is it? Anyway, we can keep reminiscing, but let's talk about the key takeaways from the book, like Grateful Dead marketing. I mean, how many marketers go to Grateful Dead concerts?
Oh, I think a lot.
Okay.
I think a lot. Yeah.
What are the takeaways then? What's the book about?
Fire away.
Fire away. They had fun.
Oh.
And we have fun at HubSpot, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
And that, I mean, just a simple thing like that, to have fun. when you're with what you're doing, and it becomes really interesting as a takeaway to people. Is just have fun with what you're doing, and if you're not having fun in your job, you might be in the wrong job. And as marketers, if we have fun, we create great marketing. As company owners, if we have fun, we create great companies.
Some of the so the book is set up. There's 19 chapters and there's 19 separate kind of marketing takeaways or lessons. A couple that I find interesting and I've thought a lot about is the Grateful Dead created a unique product, and I think something that's missing from so many companies today that I talk to is their products are Me Too products. Their offering sounds like so many other people's offering. The Grateful Dead created sort of their own category. Their offering is so unique. They sort of combined jazz and rock and roll and country and blues into this meld of music and layered this wildly improvisational element on top of it, and they created this jam band category. And then Fish and other bands sort of followed in their wake. So I think it's important for internet marketers. There's only so much you can do with Twitter and Facebook. If your product and your offering is unique like the Grateful Dead's, people will help you spread it in a very interesting way. So create a unique offering is very important.
Another thing they did is they kept their audience, their fans, as sort of equal partners in a journey, equal partners in an odyssey, and this sort of idea that we're in it together. You know, it's not us, the band, versus you, the audience, but we're doing this together. And the audience was as an important part of the show as the band. And if the audience wasn't into it, the concert was not going to be any good.
No, they also did a whole lot of stuff about making their content available, letting people record, take pictures. They were some of the first bands to enable that to the crowds, which has a lot to do with today and making your content available.
They were the first inbound marketers, really. So they had a very unique business model. Almost every other rock and roll band at the time, whether it's Rolling Stones or The Who or the Beatles, if you went to see them in concert, they had a very structured way of playing their songs, and they just played the same songs night after night. When you went to a Grateful Dead show, it was an absolute free-for-all. They played every song.
They played 2,300 shows and never repeated a song.
Yep.
Wow.
And night after
never repeated a set list.
A set list. A song. I was like, wow, that's a lot of
never repeated a set list.
And night after night after night, the concerts were very unique. And so there was an incentive for people in the audience to go night after night after night, where there was no incentive for typical folks like that. The other thing, had a very unique business model around this stuff. So the concerts were very unique. There was incentive for people to follow them around. So there was this caravan of people like David and I following them all over the country. And then they said, we're going to let this music be free because it's unique every night. They said, anyone who's at the concert who wants to tape the show, go ahead and tape the show. So you could bring your recording device, tape the show, bring it home, make copies for your friends, and spread it that way. Their whole business model was predicated around making money on the concert versus making money on the albums. It was complete opposite of anyone else. And because they changed that one simple assumption about their model, there was a cascading set of benefits for their fans and for themselves.